Hello everyone, thank you for joining us today. I am really excited because one of our former alumni who took the MSc in bioarchaeology has joined us today to talk about some of her recent successes, and that is Keneiloe. Hello and welcome.
Hi, how's it?
I'm well, how are you today?
Not too bad. I mean, it's winter in South Africa, so it feels like I am back in York. Guys, you need to do something about your weather. It's not great. Come and take it back.
Though I have to say, in York, we're suffering from a bit of a heat wave at the moment. So yes, we have exchanged weather systems there. So you're joining us today because you've just been made a National Geographic Explorer, which is super exciting. Congratulations. Can you tell us a little bit about that role and what it means?
Thank you so much. I'm super excited and very overwhelmed. I got the phone call towards the end of May, randomly phone call, and they're like, hey, it's National Geographic here. We see that you've been doing some really good work, and we have news for you. You're an emerging explorer at National Geographic. And I was just like, what? Come again? And you know, they just kept on going on about in the phone call, telling me what being an explorer for National Geographic is all about, the type of resources I will have access to. And I just sat there for like a good 5 minutes after they were done talking, and they were like, do you have any questions for us? And I was like, bruv, I didn't hear anything you said until after you said, I'm an explorer now. So could you please repeat that? I was just in so much shock. I could not believe it.
It must have been an exciting phone call. Have you got plans for what you're going to do already?
So yes, I do have plans. At the moment, I am a postdoctoral research fellow at the Center for the Exploration of the Deep Human Journey at Wits University. So I've been working on the new fossil site in the cradle of humankind. At the moment, we're just calling it UW105.
Exciting.
The fossils coming out from that site are amazing. We have yet to analyze them, but I can already tell that they're pretty amazing stuff. And I guess it was during my time working at 105 in a more senior role as like the co-PI that I guess I really shone in my leadership skills, and that got me nominated for the National Geographic Explorer program. So I'll still be running 105, but I will be going into Gladysville, which is another famous fossil site in the cradle of humankind in South Africa. It was one of the sites that after 45 years of no fossils being discovered in the cradle, 2 hominin teeth were discovered in 1993, I think it was. So I'm going back to Gladysville to see if there are any more hominin fossils to discover.
Oh, that sounds fascinating. Really brilliant stuff. Could you tell us a little bit about your career to date? What led you to working on some of these really important and fantastic sites in sort of, as we say, the cradle of humanity?
Wow. Okay. So how I landed up where I am like right now as a postdoc doing paleoanthropology. I never intended to do paleoanthropology. I always wanted to be an archaeologist since I was 7 years old. So I've been working towards that. And how I got to York was that I was interested in human skeletons from archaeological sites. So I was trying to go into the bioarch forensic archaeology route, which was fun. And then, you know, returning to South Africa after my adventures at York, I dipped my toes into underwater archaeology. So I was an underwater archaeologist in Cape Town for about 1.5 years. Before starting my PhD at Wits University in biological anthropology. And as many of us know, PhD is hardcore, like it will humble you. So during the height of my PhD, I needed a break. And normal people would go on holiday, spend time with family and friends, and, you know, really pull themselves towards themselves. I did this for about a month before I got over it. I became restless. And then Professor Lee Berger, who is an explorer at large at National Geographic and professor at Wits University, sent out an ad, the second ad, for underground astronauts to go back into the Rising Star cave system, most famous for the Homer Lady discovery. So he needed a fresh team to go back. I didn't have anything to do other than my PhD. Sorry, supervisors. So I applied, and then I got the interview, and then I got the job. I became an underground astronaut, a junior underground astronaut. That's where my first experiences in paleoanthropology came through, and my first caving experience came on. And then I've been with the team ever since then. Grown to love fossils. I mean, fossils have always been very boring for me. You know, you had very complex names like Australopithecus and Paranthropus robustus, this and that, and all these crazy dates that I could never remember or pronounce. And it's funny how the universe should work, because here I am. I'm now that person that's saying all these names and all these dates.
Yes, that's absolutely fascinating. It's really interesting to see how you've changed sort of specialisms as you've gone through your career. I think that happens to quite a few people, that you sort of serendipity, but also sort of interests change as you develop. That's really nice to hear. What a fantastic experience to be part of the Rising Cave expedition as well. Like that's it's a paradigm changing discovery, and to be part of that must have just been fantastic. Can I talk a little bit about then what you see sort of the value in the research that you do and in studying archaeology? It's obviously taken you to some amazing places. What kind of things do you think you gain from studying archaeology and then perhaps having a career in it as well?
Wow, okay, so yeah, I mean, as I've said before, I wanted to be an archaeologist since I was 7. It all started with that poster right there. That is The Adventures of Tintin, Cigars of the Pharaoh. I was just watching that cartoon in the morning with my mom before she left for work. And I got really hooked onto the cartoon series. And I was very intrigued by this whole idea that someone has a job out there that involves adventures and discovering lost civilizations and learning about them from artifacts. And that's what I wanted to do. So that's what I trained to do. And I think now things are shifting for me in a very rapid way, in that being a paleoanthropologist in South Africa is very rare, especially for a woman of color. There are only about 5 women of color in paleoanthropology in South Africa, and I'm one of the 5, which is
Wow.
insane. So my role is shifting in a way, in that I am now an ambassador for people of color in paleoanthropology, and for us to be able to tell our African story instead of, no offense, Americans or Europeans coming to Africa and telling our story is incredible. And I'm really looking forward to carrying on.